Hello to all my BPTV fans, YouTube fans, and new fans. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm doing my 24th The Talking Machine show, and I have a great, interesting guest, and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you right now.
Hi, my name is Alan Povanda.
Okay, Alan. Hey, first time ever I got two Allens on the show. He's Alan with a double L-A. I'm Alan with a double L-E, and we're going to start talking right now. Where were you born?
I was born in the French Hospital in New York City
French Hospital.
in
Nice.
1940.
And where's that located?
Manhattan.
Okay, just trying to check.
Yep,
I've been to New York a couple times, and
it's a good place to be from.
yes, I understand. My grandfather was from New York, and his family actually came from the Ukraine. They emigrated from the Ukraine many years before that, in the 1800s.
My father was from Czechoslovakia.
Nice. We got to watch that neck of the woods.
Right.
All right. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Turtle Creek. I went to
In Pennsylvania.
Yes, Turtle Creek.
I got to mention it. I know the area. I had
Yeah.
friends that lived there.
Yeah, we lived on Railroad Street.
Okay.
And
There's a bunch of them in communities. Like I know one in Bridgeville. So.
Went to Gilmore grade school and then on to junior high, Wilkins Junior High, and
Okay.
Turtle Creek High School.
Nice. Did you play any sports or anything?
I played golf in high school.
Okay. And what were you studying in high school? Anything that would help you in the future to go to college or anything?
No, when I finished school, I actually went to hairdressing school and got my license as a
What made you do that?
good friend of mine. We had grown up since fourth grade, and we did pretty much everything together.
Yeah.
And so we became hairdressers and worked in Squirrel Hill for a while.
So you actually became a hairdresser
Yes.
as one of your first jobs?
Yes.
Did you have any jobs as a kid or in high school?
Oh, I started at like 11 years old
Doing
working as a caddy on the golf course.
Nice.
And then that was at Edgewood Country Club.
I'm familiar with it.
And then worked in the kitchen, food service and preparation and dishwasher. And
So you had an open mind. You weren't afraid to try anything.
no.
Understand.
And we joined the Navy. My
What
friend,
made you do that?
we wanted to see the world,
Okay.
really. And
And what year did you join the Navy?
well, I was in 1960 to 66.
Okay.
So I saw
Thank you for your service.
30 countries.
You saw the world.
Yes, from Pompeii to climbing Mount Vesuvius to the Caribbean to the end of Vietnam,
Yeah.
up to the Black Sea, and all through the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Right. Wow.
Which is-
Can you tell me a good story from the Cuban Missile Crisis?
I will tell you the truth about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
All right, fans, you're hearing it first time here.
It'll roll your socks up and down.
All right, lay it on us.
I came home on a weekend liberty from Norfolk, Virginia. I was stationed on a DDR 835 Charles P. Cecil.
Okay.
It was a radar picket ship.
I needed an explanation. Thank you.
And I came back on a Sunday night, and all the way back to Norfolk, it seemed strange. Something was missing. The highways were different, and we got to Norfolk, and there were no sailors on the street. I got back to the piers to go aboard my ship.
Yeah.
No ship.
How could that be?
That's when President Kennedy set out the blockade. So my ship was gone. It sailed with a skeleton crew.
Wow.
I reported to the receiving station, and from that point, in the next few days, was put on another ship out to sea, transferred by Highline from ship to ship
To get to your ship.
to get to my ship. And then we were actually intercepting any ship headed into Cuba.
Sure. Hence the blockade.
We wore an armband and a .45 automatic. We went aboard the ships. If they had any kind of armament,
How many did you go on?
we turned around. Several.
Okay.
And we were following and pursuing a submarine that was a nuclear-powered submarine that came to the surface. I was a gun captain at that time. And we manned general quarters, went into the gun control, and we trained our guns on this submarine, Russian submarine,
Right, that's a nuclear-powered one.
nuclear-powered missile.
Right.
And we were there at battle stations for many hours. And we got the command from the captain. He said, I want you to turn the guns 180 degrees in the opposite direction, which we did. Even though I heard the command, it was like I didn't believe it. I couldn't imagine
why did
us
that
doing
even happen?
Why is it happening? But we did. And so afterwards, the submarine submerged. We followed it for a couple of days and lost it. 40-some years later, I'm watching WQED late at night.
Okay.
They're talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis. I see my captain, the members of the crew I served with. 40 years earlier, it was like going into a time machine.
Wow. How about you see yourself?
No, I didn't see myself.
You were hiding out.
I was hanging out someplace in the laundry or wherever. But I did see the captain who was on the submarine, and an interpreter and my captain. And this interpreter, through the captain of the Russian submarine, said through the interpreter, he was under orders if he was detected that he was to fire his missiles into the U.S.
Wow.
When the guns were turned in 180 degrees opposite, he could not follow the orders.
Now I
He
understand.
submerged. 40 years later, even though I was in the middle of almost World War III, never realized what was happening.
You could have died.
We all could have died.
Right. Well, I meant you and the rest, not just one individual.
That's the truth. And
That's how close we came.
that's how close we came back in the 60s.
What a story. What a great story. And what an experience.
What an experience. And you know, we can be so close to something and not really realize what's going on. So it's important we pay attention to the details.
And try to, definitely.
Try to.
Yeah, you got to find the information. Look, 40 years later for you. Wow.
Yes.
So you went to all these different countries and all that. Do you have a favorite country that you went to?
I really like the Caribbean,
Okay.
but I think Greece was a absolutely fascinating country.
Did you see any of the archaeological
Yes.
things?
Oh,
the
yes.
Pantheon and
The
stuff like that?
catacombs in
Yeah.
Sicily.
Because I love that stuff. I always wanted to see it, just haven't made it.
Right.
I didn't join the Navy. My son did instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's something that I took a lot of pictures of and
Right.
enjoyed every
Hey, someday we
site.
can talk and I can see your pictures from Greece.
Sure.
Because I know we can talk, Alan.
We
All
can.
right, so you got out of the Navy. Why did you do it then in '66? What happened?
Then I went on to school with my friend who was Dave Russell. He got interested in welding, and I joined him. We went to Schwab Technical School, and we learned to weld there.
Sure.
And then years went by, and I became a pipe welder. I joined a plumbers union along with my friend Dave.
Right.
And for 50 years, we welded all over the country.
You're kidding. What a job. That's a hard job, too.
Pipeline, nuclear power plants,
right. Now,
highly
I know
skilled
you were
work.
doing all this work, but you had time to start a family.
I did.
When did that
No,
happen?
We were married. This year will be 61 years, thank God.
Wow.
So
God
when I
bless
was
you both.
21, I got married.
You want to shout out to your wife?
Valerie, I love you. I couldn't ask for more.
Thank you.
Perfect wife. Thank you.
And do you have children?
I have a daughter, Valerie, that lives in Virginia, and I have a son who lives at home, runs the printing business that I started a number of years ago also.
Wow. And what's his name?
His name is Alan.
Sounds familiar.
A-L-A-N.
Whoa, you cut one L out.
I did.
That
So
way
he
he's
wouldn't
not
be a junior.
I know your style. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's great. And when did you start this printing business? Can we go off on a little
Yo,
tangent?
we're
You
all
said I
over
could
that.
ask
We're
anything.
what a
so
schedule.
why did you start
I-
a printing business?
Well, I worked in the trades, and I was a welder, and so we would work a job sometime a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, and move to another job.
Sure.
And when you weld pipe, you have to weld from the bottom of the pipe to the top of the pipe.
Okay.
And when it's in a fixed position, you have to bend your head and neck down way around to see what you're going to weld.
Sure.
Well, if you have a hat with a hard bill,
Yeah.
we had some people make hats for us that had soft bills.
Sure.
So you could put the hat on sideways, pull it down over your ear,
You look like a young man
and
now.
when you get underneath the pipe to weld, the sparks wouldn't perforate your eardrum,
Wow.
which a lot of welders lost their hearing.
Sure.
And so it was a protective thing. But nobody would remember the name Alan Pavanda
Yeah.
from job to job, but they remembered the Hat Man. So he gave me the name the Hat Man.
Wow.
So it became like my trademark.
Sure, they called you that.
They called me by the Hat Man. So I sold the men the hats that I worked with. And so the Boilermakers wore them, the pipe fitters, the iron workers.
Yeah.
It was
so
very
you had a
stuff.
nice
50
little
years
side
ago.
business. You had a side business doing this.
Yeah, a little shopping bag, go to work, do the welding.
Sell the
And
hats.
so it developed from a shopping bag business
Yeah.
into I actually outfitted a school bus.
Really?
And I had all the Carhartt work clothes, and I took it to the power plants
Wow.
and outside the plants like at Shippingport for years. Sold the clothes to
Get
the
out.
guys.
You were at Shippingport, I assume, and all the other places.
My son grew up, he finished school, and I said, you interested in taking over the business with
the printing business.
the printing business? Because we printed T-shirts.
How old was he?
Oh, he just finished high school.
Okay, 18.
Yeah. So at that time, Boilermakers wanted their own T-shirt. The T-shirt said "Genuine Boilermaker." Had a picture of a bar and a shot glass and a beer. That was a Boilermaker.
Understand.
So the
I
Boilermakers
worked
wanted,
with guys that tried to get me to drink it. I tried
So-
one, and that was it.
but the iron workers, they wanted their T-shirts. The pipe fitters, everybody wanted their own trades.
So by working where you did, you had a built-in business
I did.
with your printing.
I
You're
did.
truly blessed. That is
Oh,
awesome.
amen. Amen. And so we did it for the plumbers and the iron workers.
Whoever
and
was working.
whoever, yeah, carpenters, laborers, everybody wanted their individual shirts. So my son said, Dad, I'm more interested in a printing business than just the work clothes. I said, okay, you're going to take it over someday, so
It's yours, yeah.
it's yours. So then we started printing shirts for schools and businesses and small
So your
companies.
son grew the business with his ideas.
Yes.
Wow.
And then we had a fellow come to us one time, and he brought us some basketball uniforms.
Yeah.
But he was a manufacturer of them out in Gallitzin, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it.
Okay. And at one time, their shop employed 500 women.
500
This is Pennsylvania manufacturing 40, 50 years
in
ago,
the country.
right?
Yeah.
They made everything from infants' clothes to wedding dresses.
Wow.
And then we lost all that business to foreign competition.
Exactly.
But at that time, sports were big.
Yeah.
And he had a friend of his that had the licenses for all the
That-
colleges.
That helps, yeah.
So we started printing Notre Dame, Syracuse,
They're big.
Buffalo, every college that you could imagine
Yeah.
in the United States.
What a business.
We were so busy that it was
You had to hire more than your son.
unimaginable. We had 2 printing shops, one in Johnstown
Wow.
and one in.
How many people worked for you?
There were a few,
Okay.
5 max.
Okay. And they
Family.
could handle it. They could handle it.
Yeah, and so since we were working with this clothing manufacturer, he would print the shorts, and so it was for Penn State.
Yeah.
It was for, all
You
of
name
them.
it. Even Pitt. Maybe Pitt got in
Pitt.
there.
We still do Pitt stuff.
There we go.
Even, through Pitt for Greensburg.
And what's your printing company called?
It's called the Hat Man.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
The-
I know
the-
you were
the
I know
name-
you were called the Hat Man and
The
it's
name's
stuck.
the name's still stuck.
Well,
so-
like me calling it the Talking Machine Show. Right? Use the nickname.
Right. So the man that had the license, the man that had the clothing manufacturing and the printer, we all signed agreements. Anything that was scrap would be destroyed. Everything was accountable for. And so I said to the owner of the clothing company, I said, well, Marty, why don't you give us the pieces to print before you sew them together? It'll keep the price down and we can do it quicker.
What a move.
And he was like, no problem. So
Great idea by you.
Marty and his father came to our farm one time. And we were in the boondocks,
Yeah.
middle of nowhere, 40 acres.
Okay.
We owned 40 acres
That's great.
in the middle of the woods.
Sure. Where at? Tell us where.
Well, it's north of Greensburg. It's in Salem Township.
Okay.
And so the father and the son came out and they had a pickup truckload full of boxes of all this clothing for us to print.
Sure.
And the father says to me, Alan, how do you get any business out here? He's standing around looking
In
at
the
the
field.
trees
Yeah.
and the grass. And I said to him, Mr. Finkelstein, I said, the Lord sends me to business. Fold his arms, he looks at me, and I said, he sent you. He put his head down and he got himself together. He sat in the truck. He thought about that.
Yeah.
And we did business for a number of years until the licenses changed,
Sure.
which was a very excellent business.
Nice.
So we're still in the printing business
Right, right.
for small companies
And it's
so on.
changed. Things have changed.
Things change always.
Definitely. And technology's eliminated a lot of the mom and pop shops.
Yeah. So because we do all the graphics for the T-shirts, we do truck lettering, we do
Oh, okay.
signs.
So you've branched
Banners.
out wherever you can supply
Yeah.
what they need.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still
No, that
involved
is
in the
great.
printing business.
And yet you're still welding and doing all these other things for
yeah,
years.
that's just part of the mix. So
Sure. And I got to ask, now you brought me something I can take here. I don't know if we can get a close up on the one garlic. There, the crumbly.
Crumblies.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get this on camera with a close up or anything. So I can hold it where I normally do and this will show. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
By the way, I'll show the powder next. And there we go. All right, I'll show the powder, and it's Allen's garlic powder. It's 100% pure.
Amen. There's
And,
6
and
different.
since Bob, our friend Bob Gary, the police officer,
Yeah.
retired, I'm friends with him. He went to KO, so did I. He told me about Allen, so shout out to Bob. Thank you
Yeah.
for the invitation. He told me we'd get along.
Cool.
So he's right. And I've had your powder. Just cooked it on my latest haddock dish, and it's just very good. He even taught me to put it in my hand and lick it right off. So
Well, it's not just one type of garlic. There's 6 varieties of garlic to go into it.
I was hoping you'd explain. Well, I'll take this and
That's-
hold this.
Absolutely. That's what makes the garlic so unique. And
I'm
all the
going to keep
garlic
it
is
right near
grown
me now. Look
at
at
home.
this.
And it started 25 years ago when I wanted to buy garlic for my family,
Yeah.
and you just couldn't find it locally. Most of it today, unfortunately, comes from China.
And explain what China does to save money, because Bob told me.
Well, one of the things that most garlic that you buy is hard to find it fresh, and there's never any roots on it
I've been buying it for years and didn't know that.
because they bleach it to make it white, to give it long shelf life.
Right.
So you get the extra treatment for nothing.
Right.
So
and it's not
when
as healthy for you.
No. So when you grow it yourself, you know everything that we grow, I put on my own table for my own family. So anything that you would buy in a garlic line, that's what I serve my family.
Nice. And what's a bottle like this cost, and how do they get a hold of you to buy it?
Well, they can reach, I have a website set up.
Tell them the name.
Simply allensgarlic.com.
Okay.
And also, I have a tech that handles that, but it's always, like, unfortunately, with most technical things, doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So there's a phone number that you can reach me at.
Do you have a phone number you can give out?
The phone number would be 724-433-1409.
I've never been this old. Repeat it again.
724-433-1409.
Order some. What's something like this cost?
$20.
And how long does it last, depending on how
Well,
you use it?
It's made from 6 different varieties of garlic, which makes up the blend,
Okay.
both in the powder or the crumblies,
I'm
which
ready
is a
to
little
try
larger
some now.
kernel
Yeah.
that you might want to use in stews or soups or something. Now, most important is you only need a little bit. It's not like adding the garlic powder you normally buy on the shelf.
So it's very powerful.
It's very powerful. It's very concentrated.
And
you want to
healthy.
add it last
Healthy.
5 minutes.
And it's very healthy for you.
And it is. It's very healthy. There's no pesticides or insecticides. We lived on this farm for more than 50 years. There's no chemicals used of any kind.
That's
If you
great.
come to our farm, you'll see birds and bees and things that you don't see most places.
I got to come out there in the summer when it's warm.
So you're welcome to.
Thank you. No, this is great. And what's with the powder? What is that? One type of garlic, or is that?
No, the powder is also 6 varieties.
I figured there's a theme there.
There's music, there's German extra hardy.
And these are names of garlic.
These are names. Some of the bulbs of garlic, and I do a market in Sewickley Farmers Market in the summer months, usually from in July, August, September.
And what day of the week is there?
It's on a
farmers market?
Saturday.
Saturdays in Sewickley during the summer. Go
Right.
see my friend Alan.
9 o'clock till 1 o'clock. And it's always a very unique market, and you'll find really high quality products. It's one of the best of the farmers markets. There's a lot of farmers markets, but this one is, if you haven't been there, try it. It's a Saturday afternoon. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, you can
And
not
stop
only
by,
you can not
say hello.
only buy from Alan, but there's others that have things out
Yes.
there,
Yes.
and he'll be there, and it's just great. We're going to show some pictures that
One-
he gave us.
One
So-
of the things that I started this was, I'm not going to be here this who knows how long. My intent in growing the garlic, establishing garlic plants that grow here in western Pennsylvania, was to show young people and people who want to do this themselves, they can carry this on not only now, but for generations to come. Because once you buy good stock
Sure.
and you plant it and you take care of it, it'll take care of you for the rest of your life.
Can I grow some in a
Yes.
spot in my yard?
Yes,
We're going to have to talk about that after
yes,
the show.
yes. And
I'm excited now.
now, I have to tell you this.
Go ahead.
About 28 months ago, 29 months ago,
Yes.
I came down with acute stage 4 colon cancer.
And that's terrible. What a diagnosis.
I ran out of blood. So for you young guys, my advice to you, get yourself a colonoscopy early in life. Nobody likes to go and have it done, but you can save yourself a lot of trouble, pain, suffering, and misery. You don't have to go through it. They detect this early. It'll save your life. I said, no, I don't think I need that. I don't have any cancer. My father didn't have it. I'm okay. Until I bled almost to death. I passed out in the bathroom. They called the ambulance. They took me to Monroeville, and they were trying to give me an IV.
Sure.
Young doctor came in. He said, this man is out of blood. Punch a hole in his chest and give him what we have. They had one
I've
unit
never
of blood.
heard of that before. That's unbelievable.
They had 1 unit of blood at Monroeville Hospital. They gave me the unit, tied it to my arm, strapped me in a helicopter, and flew me to Mercy Hospital here in Pittsburgh.
Were you unconscious at the time?
In and out.
Okay.
I remember the helicopter ride.
Wow, what a journey.
2 o'clock Sunday night,
So what hospital did you go to?
Mercy.
Okay, so he's at Mercy.
Thank God I ended up in
They're
Mercy.
a great hospital for sure.
Yes. And so I woke up the next morning. I had this operation done on me, which was they gave me an ostomy.
Yeah.
They removed my colon. They said, you have to have this in order to live.
Sure.
And I looked up, and at the end of my bed, they had a sign there that said, stop the bleeding. I looked at the sign. I said to the nurse, erase that. I don't want that up there. She said, oh, that's the most important thing about you.
Right.
Everybody that comes in looks at that first. I said, help me out of bed, I'll erase it. She said, no, you can't move. I'll do it.
Yeah.
What do you want me to put on a board? I said, I want you to write on a board in big letters with an exclamation point, Jesus is Lord. She smiled. She wrote it on the board. The next day, the doctors came together, a little powwow there. They're talking, what did you do? Well, I wasn't here. I was at this place. I was on a different floor.
Sure.
But the bleeding stopped. They were giving me blood, but it was coming out. I spoke with my oncologist. I said to him, doctor, I said, just tell me the truth. Tell me what are my odds. Tell me
Right.
what I have. He said, Alan, based on your age, the condition you came here in, our best estimate is we give you 2 days, maybe a week to live.
Unbelievable.
But God, that's all I can say.
And you're here. God is great. I'm living proof
By,
of it
by
today.
the mercy of God, when all the chips are down and there is nothing to hold on to, call out to Him. I'm a walking miracle man only by His grace.
Thank you for sharing your story.
It's true.
No, I'm a believer like you are.
It's true.
My son gave me a great kidney.
Oh.
Just had my exam 2.5 years. The doctor said, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. The doctor goes, you're blessed.
Amen. Amen. I go to Mercy now. I take chemo once a month. My latest PT scan showed no recognizable cancer in my system.
God bless you.
So it's a maintenance program. Thank God they saved my life. God saved my life. So I'm grateful and thankful.
On that inspiring note, I hope this inspires all of you like me. And Alan, thanks so much for being a great guest. And you're still alive to tell
Amen.
us God has truly blessed you. Amen. And
Thank you.
stay tuned for my next show, the 25th. It'll be coming up in a couple weeks. And thanks for all your great comments. Keep watching the Talking Machine Show.